There's water, it's covering the road, it's covering the sidewalks, and actually right here where I am, let's take a look. The water is about 9.5, 10 inches deep here, but I know the further out you go, it's well over a foot. Neighbors say they live next to this airport for years, but have never seen anything like this before. The cleanup continues out here after that tornado ripped through this area. Let me step out of the way so you can get a better look. Right now, they're in desperate need of more drivers. Volunteers can choose what days and times they're able to give rides. Fisherman's Village is full of small businesses like this one. The city of Punta Gorda wants to make sure that all gas station pumps have these sealed security locks to keep your information safe. Public Works crews were out in this area and they were clearing debris like you see like this from these swells to make sure that all of this water that you're seeing is able to drain. These court documents detail what's on those cameras that show Officer Adam Jobbers Miller being shot with his own gun. Students were given a card with a picture and a name of a veteran that they needed to find on the wall. But right now, there's about a 100-mile gap between rest stops from Lee to Hillsborough County. And drivers say that's a long stretch of road to go without taking a break. People tell me it's not uncommon to see wrong-way drivers on one-way roads. Signs like these ones are posted on nearly every block in the downtown area. But now people are saying more needs to be done to keep the community safe. Out-of-town drivers in a maze of one-way roads can make for a dangerous combination in Punta Gorda. One major problem, wrong-way drivers.
The potential there is great for that to happen. I think I've seen it happen once down a side street.
It happened again today, this time caught on camera by a Punta Gorda police dash cam. A wrong-way driver headed southbound on US 41 North, which is a one-way road. James Peterson and Holly Wolverton say they saw it happen as they were driving.
He was going real slow and creeping along and trying to get off.
Had his flashers on.
Yes, so he knew he goofed up.
Police posted the video of the wrong-way driver on Facebook, warning drivers to pay attention. But many of you commented saying it's happening all too often.
It can be tricky because we do have a lot of one-ways.
I think a lot of people don't know the area and aren't used to one-ways. You know, they're used to two-way traffic.
Yeah, most of the time it's out-of-towners or people that come for the winter visiting.
People are now pushing for more protections because one wrong turn could have dangerous consequences.
I think there might need to be more signage and warnings.
Now, bigger signs with flashing lights and better placement are just some of the suggestions that you guys have posted on Facebook. In the meantime, police say drivers just need to pay attention. Live in Punta Gorda, KRISTI Gross, Wink News Now. Even though the Parkland student survivors have come and gone, this public hearing is still going on. People are still getting up and speaking to the commission, some even in support of those students who are demanding action. Now, these are the same students who just weeks ago were fighting to survive when a gunman opened fire at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. They tell Wink News they came to Cape Coral to continue to fight for their lives today. This time by pleading with the commission to not only increase spending on mental health, but they say more importantly to put an assault weapons ban on the November ballot and let voters decide. The students traveled here just days after the state legislature voted against an assault weapons ban, and they had some strong words for the commission about that vote.
It just shows who these people really are, cowards that want to continue to allow our children to be slaughtered in our schools. That's really what they are, but that's fine because we have re-elections coming up and we'll take care of it there.
Again, not surprised. People would think it's demotivating, but it's quite the opposite. Actually, it just motivates me more and more to wake up every single day, every single hour, minute, and second to fight for this cause.
The students tell me in a lot of ways getting this assault weapons ban on the ballot is a test run. They feel if they can get it on the ballot and passed here in Florida, they will be successful at the federal level too. And they're hoping everyone will get out and vote. Live in Cape Coral, KRISTI Gross, Wink News Now. Told deputies he was trying to break into people's homes because 3 men were actually after him. He eventually ended up at this Gulf gas station unconscious.
Someone was banging on the back door over here.
11-year-old Mia Belmonte is still shaken up after she says this man, Timothy Bryant, caught on her neighbor's surveillance cameras covered in blood, pushed his way inside her home with her 8-year-old brother inside.
He yelled at me and Milo to go in the bathroom with him, And then so me and Milo just ran to the bathroom, and then he was behind us. He comes in behind us, he shuts the door and locks it.
Mia says she escaped the bathroom when she told Bryant she was looking for help, but what happened next left her scared for her brother's life.
All of a sudden, I hear the bathroom door slam, and then I hear glass breaking and Milo screaming and crying. I just run back to the bathroom. I open the door, I see him climbing through the window, there's blood everywhere.
That's when they made their escape to a neighbor's home and called 911.
We could see the blood going from the bathroom window, across our driveway, and across the street.
Surveillance video shows Bryant trying to break into other homes.
This has been a nightmare.
The kid's grandmother had just left to go pick up dinner when she got the frightening phone call from her neighbor, letting her know that the kids were safe, but police were on their way.
I was petrified but I knew they were okay, but I didn't know, I just didn't know. A lot of things were going through my mind.
The Belmonte family tells me this scary ordeal has forever changed their lives.
Now I know the lesson that if anyone starts banging on the door, I call 911 first.
The family tells me they're thankful that neither of those kids were hurt, and they say they feel much safer knowing Bryant is now behind bars. Live in Port Charlotte, Kristi Gross, Wink News Now.
The Gulf is as black as oil and has been for a couple of days. Dead fish everywhere.
The widespread red tide now reaching the shores of Lemon Bay, where thousands of fish are washing ashore.
It's really devastating to see all this dead.
Only Wink News was there when FWC pulled this dead manatee from a boat ramp at Indian Mound Park. They say a second one was found just a mile away.
It's devastating. It's like I hate to say, a natural disaster, if you ask me.
But the red tide isn't just impacting the wildlife.
You don't want to stay around. It's a bad smell. It's rather overwhelming and not pleasant at all.
It's just a really nasty smell. It's not something you want to be out in, and we spend our day inside trying to keep away from it.
Neighbors say the strong odor from all the dead fish can be smelled from as far away as Venice and Northport.
I've never seen anything like this before.
It just started to rain again, but here on Sistina Street, this is really the worst flooding in all of Charlotte County. You can see there's water. It's covering the road, it's covering the sidewalks, and actually right here where I am, let's take a look. The water is about 9.5, 10 inches deep here, but I know the further out you go, it's well over a foot, which is why at least one homeowner couldn't make it to work today. A Port Charlotte neighborhood underwater.
And it's just been a nightmare, really.
Sistina Street off Olean Boulevard flooded under more than a foot of water. Deborah Nickerson says she's trapped inside her home because she couldn't make it out of her driveway.
I lost a day's work because of this.
But the water didn't stop this mail carrier who waded through to make her deliveries. The neighborhood, no stranger to flooding. People say this happens every time they get a couple of days of consistent rain, but say more signs need to be posted to warn drivers to slow down.
People are coming down and waking, and they think that if they go faster that they're going to get through, but then it wakes up on our house.
This driver, not so lucky. They stalled out trying to make their way through the water. They had to call for a friend to come push them out. Neighbors say while it's flooded here in the past, they haven't seen anything quite like this before.
It's been bad, but not this bad before. This is different than normal.
And so if we keep getting rain and storms, it might get even worse.
Not too far away off Loveland Boulevard, another residential road is flooded. People are able to make it in and out of their cars, but say kids walking to the bus stop get the worst of it.
And they go to school and their shoes are wet, their socks are wet, and it's sad.
Now, in both the neighborhoods, people tell me that it could take days, even weeks, for all of this water to recede. And of course, they're worried. They say if it doesn't stop raining, the flooding could get worse before it gets any better. Live in Port Charlotte, I'm Kristi Gross, Wink News Now.
There's only one rule. One rule is that I'm walking the whole thing.
Lubo Marskal walked away from a life in corporate America years ago, and last year he hitchhiked from Vietnam to the Czech Republic.
I just discovered, a simple lifestyle that I fell in love with.
With nothing more than what he can carry on his back, Lubo is pounding the pavement once again, a 7-month mission to hike from Key Biscayne to the San Francisco Bay Area.
Walking kind of slows the pace of life for me. I'm more present in that moment. Just try to really just pay attention to what I'm doing and really appreciate, small things. like the sun. It's an awesome day.
Just 2 weeks and nearly 300 miles in, he already has tales of people's generosity.
Yesterday there was a guy named Peter, you know, who just stopped on the side of the road and was like, hey man, I saw you walking yesterday in LaBelle, like, you know, can I take you out to breakfast or something like that, you know, and like, this happens more often than not.
After being dropped off in the same spot, Lubo continued on.
People give me watermelons on the side of the road, buy me breakfast, food, water, whatever I need, you know, and it's super kind, and I don't know, it's just beautiful.
Lubo wants people to know that kindness can be found across all walks of life.
I knew it, you know, crossed borders because I went across Russia, China, Mongolia, you know, Eastern Europe, and all the way. That kindness, and it crosses like everything. I mean, it doesn't matter what race you are or religion, it crosses everything.
In Charlotte County, KRISTI Gross, Wink News Now.